the problem. I ain't had shit to show, being modest. Now it's grams of the wax for my conscience. Brian James in LA, you're on college. I've been jumping on them planes like a hobby. Still moving with the pack like my partners. Just the John on them jets cause you wildin'. But the bowl is a party on the island. Moment of silence. So good, get back to the topic. Grew up, it was me and Flocka. Grandma's and Big T, this my mama. I ain't even for the pain when my pots flip. Knew his name, that's it, never bothered. Mom said, you the man, son, you got this. Ever since I found a way to go and pop shit. Hold up, blaze through a whole zip. Took a seat at the table of my first flip. Days in red roof for my first whip. Split the money with the gang, never post pics. Seen a change in the game, had to coach it. Never let them take my wangs in the mold, bitch. Ever made in a month, nigga. Used to serve him at the minute just to front, nigga. Goddamn. Had to grow up quick, I made my own rules. Had my first child, got it jumping with music. Can't really hang with nobody who losing. I thought by now that you would go and get it, but I could hardly see niggas as distant. Know you get cropped if you not in the picture. And I made that zag and went got a bag. Shots to the Henny and OG prescriptions, put rebel shit on the map. Took a leap from where I started at. Started ballin' now, I'm Chris Paul and Cass. Got him steady calling for the mold, but I'm on a roll, gotta call him back. And that's all fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. All carry-on items should now be stowed securely, either in an overhead bin or under the seat in front of you. All aisles, exits, and bulkhead areas should now be clear. All electronic devices should now be turned off and stowed, as they may interfere with the aircraft's navigational and communication systems. Once airborne, we'll let you know when you may use approved electronic devices, but note that some items may not be used at any time during the flight. You'll find a list of approved devices in the in-flight information section.
Ding, ding, ding. Once again, the United States champion of word wrestling entertainment has returned for another edition of the Pocket Locker Podcast. I am your host with the most all the way from the East Coast. And gang, after picking up a fresh stash, y'all already know that I am in airplane mode. Folks, we have got a fantastic show lined up for you this evening. Let's go ahead and jump straight into the musical portion of the program. Please greet your neighbor, kick back, grab something to smoke, grab something to drink. It is time to catch a vibe. Let's give out some pocket change. I gotta look at the trees first. up, Mo? Alright, I look at the trees carrying Chrysler and atheist Mo, 1, 2, and 3. Slug is in the house, Wayne's in the house. Crystal's here. Good to see you. All right, gang, before we get to our second song, we've got a little bit of a special one for you. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, and put that big on the big screen. And put that big on the big screen. I love this music. Awesome. All right, gang, I feel like I've been waiting for an eternity to say this, but make sure you subscribe to Carrie Ann Chrysler. Hells to the yeah. It's about time. Finally, man. Go subscribe. Give Carrie Ann a like and a sub and leave a comment. And we'll stay alert for more garden updates. That's awesome. Thanks so much, Carrie Ann. All right, let's go ahead and get into the second tune we have, and then we'll get into our program. All right, I like this one. I think you guys like this one. We're gonna bring this back. This was a good one.
You are my fire, the one desire. Believe when I say I want it that way. But we
Hey, Lena.
And tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Now that I see that we're falling apart and it's more than it used to be, yeah. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me, you are my fire, the one desire. You are, you are. Don't wanna hear you say I'm not gonna hear you say it's nothing but a heartbreak, 'cause I want it that way. Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why, tell me why you got to say. Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why, tell me why you want it that way. Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why, tell me why you say I want it that way.
All right, cheers, gang. Now let's take off on this shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Now, gang, we cannot miss the opportunity to cover some coons. And you start off with your sort of garden variety, self-hating black person. You work your way on up through the fucking the real gospel chops, straight on through into the stratosphere of the Jesse Lee Peters and Candace Owens super coons of the world. Then recently, we've had to delve a little bit into the quoons because apparently some of our queer fam also don't like our queer fam. Does that not make any fucking sense? Boom, that's why we call them the quoons, because they're the self-hating queer people. And today we're going to be delving into the women who think women shouldn't vote. Gang, all you need to do is find me a fucking handicapped person who does not believe in handicap parking, and my fucking coon starter kit will be complete. Now, a lot of you have probably noticed by now, as the sexiest man in all of word wrestling entertainment, that I'm not a woman, all right? And so when it comes to the gynecological processes and, all of the cycles and how they, align with the sisterhood agenda and all of this, I'm a little out of my depth. I'm going to be honest with you. But ladies, you can hit me up and let me know if I've got this covered. I think the women should fucking vote because everyone should fucking have the right to vote. I think I got this one covered. I think we can all get on top. We can get on board with that, right? We all go above the level with that one. This is fucking crazy. So we're going to delve into this. Of course, there's a big history lesson we're going to get here back into the original anti-suffragist, as though we need to hear about them super coons. And then I think we're going to jump into the modern day women who talk about women shouldn't vote. Now, gang, the reason I brought this to you is because, to be honest, this is kind of a video I've been waiting for. I don't remember when it was or what it was I was watching, but I was watching one of them. I like to hate watch a lot of shit, and I was watching some conservatardness, and these conservatard women was sitting up there talking about how women shouldn't vote because since most women vote to the left, according to them at least, and if they just didn't vote as conservatives, they would get their way more often. That was their rationale, gang. They not to look into the mirror and say, I have deep questions about who I am and my integrity as I support the party that literally thinks people like me are not fucking equal. I support the party who, like, misogyny is just their fucking MO at this point. No. They didn't do that type of deep questioning and then change their political affiliation based on this apparent fucking contradiction. No. Instead, they put their monkey asses on national fucking media and said, yeah, I think our party would just win more often if women didn't vote, with a straight face. And gang, what, like my brain just fucking fries and short circuits and I don't understand what I'm hearing and nothing makes sense. So look, we're gonna give a shout out. We're gonna give a shout out to Tara Mookney for covering this. There's I prepared for this. We had a serious pre-show production meeting, and I was like, this show will not be ready until her link is in the description. So I put her link in the description. Gang, I work so hard to put these shows together. We put so much effort into these shows. I got the crew working around the clock, and we left no stone unturned. All right, now let's go ahead and jump into this video. I'm so glad she made a video about this foolishness. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this party started. We're gonna jump straight into the main event of the evening. And as a tribute to the main man, Uncle Bobby, gang, I swear to God, you are such a scumbag piece of shit that is unworthy of the fucking oxygen you consume if you are not subscribed to Uncle Bobby at Gin and Truth on YouTube. So don't fucking tell me, don't try to get all excited. Oh, I just subscribed to Uncle, because then I know you won't, and I'll just fucking shoot an arrow through you right now, because you deserve to be hit hard with stones and stoned and stoned, biblical style, until you die if you are not already subscribed to Gin and Truth on YouTube. So just subscribe on the sneak tip and leave a fucking like on the next video. Let them know Cousin Jay sent you, but don't even tell me, because I'll have to instant block you. You should have already been subscribed. And yes, you should be ashamed of yourself. But just change. Just do it right now. All right, gang, let's go ahead. And as a tribute to my main man, Uncle Bobby, we're going to Autobots transform. Then we're going to fluctuate. Don't be trying this shit on your YouTube channel. If I see y'all trying that shit on your YouTube channel, I'm fucking coming at you. I get to do that shit because I have fucking co-host, tag team partner privileges. Don't let me catch you doing that shit on your fucking YouTube channel. I will fucking come down with the hammer of Thor on your ass.
This building is what used to be the Westminster Palace Hotel, the site of which the Women's National Anti-Suffrage League had their first meeting in July 1908. The League's aims were to oppose women being granted the parliamentary franchise, but it did support women voting in local and municipal elections. Spoiler, they did not achieve their goal. Us pesky little females can now get our grubby little mitts on the ballot.
It's political correctness gone mad.
Now, you might be thinking, why wouldn't they want the vote? It's fun. They'd miss out on all the dogs at polling stations. Well, some of their reasons were actually quite interesting. More interesting than them being mere pick-me's vintage edition. But before I get into that, let me introduce myself.
Gang, I just have to tell you, I'm glad we're doing this together because I can already feel the cringe. This is gonna get ugly. Gang, coonery comes in all forms. There's just so many people who hate people like themselves. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm just telling you, I'm probably gonna get a little perspiration, a little hot under the collar, because this shit's about to be cringe. I can just.
My name is Tara Mooney, and this is the only channel on YouTube where all videos are written and produced by a cow. She couldn't be in the video today because she's actually voting in her local bovine council elections, which, funnily enough, the anti-suffragists would have been fine with. I can't vote in those because I'm not a cow.
I'm not the cow, okay?
So let's throw that conspiracy out of the window. But if you like and subscribe, she might appear in the next one. Today, I will be...
Gang, did you already like and subscribe and leave a comment down below if you're watching later? And see, you guys get so mad that people interrupt the content to give you those calls to action, but they work. They work. So if people just did those things without being prompted to, then content creators wouldn't have to pause their fucking shit just to fucking remind you to do some shit you should have already done. So whose fault is it really?
Focusing on the women who fought against the rights that I enjoy today. But as it is International Women's Day, I do want to give a quick shout out to the Equal Franchise Act of 1928, which allowed women over 21 to vote. There was also the Representation of the People Act in 1918, but we don't count that because it was only for women over 30 who met certain property requirements, which is lame and not based, and I wouldn't have qualified, so we don't count it because it's my channel. So
all right, gang, so idea for an original HBO series, right? One of them kind of throwback period pieces where like all the fucking scenes and all the fucking costumes and shit are period accurate, right? And it's all about fucking the suffrage movement, but all the characters talk in the lingo of today. Yeah, just they talk like a bunch of fucking perpetually online kids, and I just think it'd be yep, and somebody copyright that shit. We can make some money up in this bitch. We got it, gang. We got to find some shit. I gotta be honest with you. Having an integrity, fucking beating down on fucking bigots and all that shit, it just don't pay as well as being a lying ass right wing grifter. I gotta keep it real.
it's about me. So there. So yeah, thanks to the Equal Franchise Act, I have the right to vote, the right to spoil my ballot, and the right to make a smooth transition into my sponsor segment. Ayo! The other day, I was Googling myself and the cow, and you'll never guess what I found. A satellite image of the exact location of the cow's editing quarters. I have been trying my darndest to hide her location, but you pesky little beavers keep getting closer and closer. To rectify this, I have swiftly relocated her to a new office space. Phew! That was a close call. On a serious note, I did Google myself and my family members, and it's quite spooky what came up. Most of it is innocuous stuff like where you went to school and worked, etc., etc. But it does make me wonder how much more information people can find with just a bit of Googling. In some cases, people can find your email address, where you go to the gym, and even your home address. Eek! The reason this information is accessible is because of data brokers who profit from selling your information to robocallers, telemarketers, and spammers. But I have something that can help you with that, and that is today's sponsor, Aura. Aura will identify data brokers who are exposing your information and automatically submits opt-out requests on your behalf. It opts you out of junk mail and telemarketing.
No, I don't want to do it. I can't. It's capitalism. The capitalism
required.
The anti-capitalist in me just won't let me.
Advancing to American suffragist Carrie Chapman Catt. The enemy
broke anti-capitalist who needs more money from capitalism. I need more capitalism to escape capitalism. Shh. Just. It makes sense.
To suffrage was not men, but resistance to change. I mean, it was also men. They didn't help matters. Funnily enough, I found an archived article in The Atlantic from September 1903 called "Why Women Do Not Wish the Suffrage" by a man called
Also, this is what I mean. We have a deep history of these philosophy bros and them trying to do shit to impress people and making up new types of words. I just want to say we should have called this something else. Like I don't like suffrage. Nobody says suffrage. You're trying to hide. Like what's suffrage? Are you pro suffrage? It doesn't even sound good. It sounds like I might mishear you and think you said suffering. Like, are you pro suffrage? Oh no, I'm not. What kind of awful human being do you think I am, huh? I don't want that to happen to anybody. That shouldn't happen. No one should have that. No. And then people start looking at you. They start writing you letters. They start calling you a bigot and all this type of shit. And you start reading them out and you be like, suffrage. Ooh. Gang, my point is they should have just called it women vote or the pro-voting, everyone votes, equal voting rights, all that type of shit. Suffrage is not a good word. It's not a good word.
Abbott.
I don't like
Who
it.
needs a woman to write it when Linman can just tell you what women want? Briefly, I believe it is because woman feels, if she does not clearly see, that the question of
Gang,
woman...
please notice that that's my only actual complaint. It's pretty hard to find things to complain about the suffrage movement. We're like, yeah, the word sounds kind of weird to modern people who don't use it anymore, but all right.
Suffrage is more than merely political, that it concerns the nature and structure of society, the home, the church, the industrial organism, the state, the social fabric. In short, he argued that for women to vote and take part in political office would be against their nature. They'd be imitating men and therefore bastardizing womanhood because of God and motherhood and stuff like that. And to a change which involves a revolution in all these, she interposes an inflexible, though generally a silent opposition. It is for these silent women, whose voices are not heard in conventions, who write no leaders, deliver no lectures, and visit no legislative assemblies, that I speak. It is their unspoken thought and feeling I wish to interpret. He's speaking up for women, like a true ally. Bless up, Linman. Going back to Carrie Chapman Catt, she was
Dang, that is some deep historical mansplaining right there. He was like, he ain't even had to do the part where you listen and then speak up with the women who you've listened to. My man was speaking for the women who don't speak. Like, holy shit.
to something. Much like today's fight against bodily autonomy, there was a cohort of women resisting women gaining the vote. It was a classical conservative movement that sought to keep the status quo, for the most part. But I'm more interested in the women who were walking contradictions. Those who were outspoken, educated, high status, yet
just
still
like me. Let's get
opposed
to the
suffrage.
coons.
Funnily enough, Carrie Chapman Catt initially opposed it. When Congressman Frank Clark of Florida proposed a national referendum for women in 1918, she exclaimed the idea was unconstitutional and pointless. But thankfully, she changed her mind. Same goes for Susan B. Anthony, or Anthony. How do you Americans say it? Anyway, she opposed it in Washington State in 1871, claiming that women's condition of servitude made them unable to see the issue clearly. Now, it is also worth noting that she also changed her mind, but for white women. Ew. Good rule of thumb is to assume that pretty much everyone involved here was racist. The suffragettes were racist, the suffragists were racist, the anti-suffragists were racist. Just wanted to put that out there in case your school is not allowed to say that their historical faves were racist. Now, back to the question of this video. Why would educated women oppose their own suffrage? Anti-suffragists included the likes of Caroline Corbin of Illinois, who co-founded the Association for Advancement of Women and became the president of the Illinois Antis.
Oh, no. Not the fucking, like, organized leaders who do the fucking dog whistling ass names, like the fucking Liberation Society who wants to take away everybody's fucking civil rights and shit. Oh, man. Gang, I wasn't ready for how deep the cooning actually was. Oh,
Agnes
man.
Irwin, the first dean of Radcliffe College. Mrs. J.B. Lippincott, who promoted scholarships for women, but then became the leader of the Los Angeles Antis. And Annie Nathan Meyer, a founder of Barnard College, who remained so even up until her death in 1951. So, big L for Annie. The female leaders of the US anti-suffrage campaign were generally women of wealth, privilege, social status, and even political power. They were the women who were doing well, comparatively, in this current system. So they had incentive to cling onto a system that privileged them. Opening the vote to women could mean the wrong kind of women getting
straight up on that Clarence Thomas tip, y'all.
the vote. I.e., women of colour, socialists, and prostitutes.
The commies.
In 1918, the women's protest had been renamed the Woman Patriot and dedicated itself to the defense of womanhood, motherhood, the family, and the state against suffragism, feminism, and socialism. Where do I sign up? They feared that prostitutes would be much more likely to vote than other women, in order to keep corrupt local politicians in office and protect their own livelihood, God forbid. As a result, the antis kept bringing up the issue of vicious women voters in congressional hearings, and one minister said, "We cannot afford to let this element vote. Respectable women already..."
This element. Holy shit, that's dehumanizing. And that is fucked up. Like, it's this gang, this shit has such deep roots. It's so wild that we just don't learn shit from history. And then we're just living out this same exact fucking nightmare. Holy
had
hell.
influence over lawmakers. There was an overarching cynicism in political systems. The idea was women uniting for the common good, rather than dividing along party lines, as men did. So this was a major theme for the antis. The idea that women were non-partisan. Men's political activity involved dirty deals, personal attacks, bribery, and corruption. Respectable married women held the moral high ground, while politicians occupied the moral low ground. So it wasn't as simple as just women should stay in the kitchen. Don't get me wrong, it's still sexist because it was reinforcing the theory of complementarianism. Women were equal, but different.
But not equal.
Their role was caring for the local community. And as previously mentioned, members of the Women's National Anti-Suffrage League in London in 1908 were all for women participating in local elections, just
Women
not
do
parliamentary
not
ones.
want votes.
For a small minority
Gang,
of
I really did opt against making this title way more clickbaity. Like, I was just gonna like put one of those like crazy ass women shouldn't vote or some shit like that in the title, and I was like, they'll know I'm not. I just can't. But it's crazy. That's how like that they were just like, yeah, women. No, when should women vote? Never. How many women should vote? None. Like, holy crap. And also, can I just like, it's been a while. Like, I've been live for kind of a while, and I haven't made fun of Christians for a while. So can I just get a fuck Christianity in there? Because I know we haven't really talked about it, but let's just, all of this status quo and maintaining the social order that privileged them in their fucking church lady hats with their fucking pearl clutching. Get the fuck out of here. We know churchy ass Christians when we see them. We know nobody was all about that bigotry like Jesus and his motherfucking, I was going to say homies, but it's homegirls and all them types in this one, because this is some deep-seated anti-feminism, and it just reeks of Christianity. So Christians, go fuck yourself. I know you thought we was going to talk about a public issue. We was going to keep it. No. We are always going to get a good the Christianity up in this bitch. Let's go.
Anti-suffragists, you could argue that they were approaching the issue from a more progressive standpoint. Like anarchist Emma Goldman, who saw the electoral system as a tool of the powerful, and Beatrice Webb, a founder of the London School of Economics, who was an early advocate for the welfare state. In 1889, she signed a petition against women's suffrage in Britain, believing that economic emancipation was more important than the right to vote. She later changed her mind and campaigned for equal pay and women in academia. And, I can kind of sympathize with this standpoint. I feel like it's parallel with,
Dang, this is so crazy. They all have the fucking, that fucking leftist fucking baby face turn too. That same thing all the fucking right-wingers are doing now. They're fucking making their fucking empires off the grift, fucking stepping on the necks of everybody like them, trying to fucking keep everybody down. Then they get fucking filthy paid. They're fucking good. They've got their fucking position. They're just taking too much feedback. They're like, oh, when I fucking go out to sit on my fucking porch, people are throwing fucking eggs at me. And then they're like, oh, I've changed my mind. I've had a change of heart. I hold myself accountable, and I'm not down with that anymore. It's just so eerie. Like, this is the fucking the fucking I don't know. I meant to go name a platform, but there's too many platforms, and the platforms you used to name aren't even the platforms anymore, and they're changing, they're making some new ones, but you guys know what I mean. They were doing the social media shit way back then, and they were doing the same thing. Grift your way to the top, and then find a conscience, and then tell everybody you feel bad so they stop throwing shit at you.
Today's fraction of people who opt out of voting for political reasons as a form of protest against the corrupt system. However, I don't think those people would say, because I don't want to vote, let's not bother even having the right to vote. Like, they still have the choice, and I think they're still for the choice. But anyways, so many of these aforementioned women did change their minds, even those who opposed suffrage for conservative reasons. Once the 19th Amendment in the USA was passed, many of the women who opposed this exercised that right, many of whom took the energy they were investing into the anti-suffrage campaign, then took it to the Republican Party. Former members of anti-suffrage groups in New York became involved in the Women's National Republican Club. Former anti-suffragist Ida Tarbell expressed that it would take some time for women to get comfortable with voting. But it's safe to say that, at least in the US...
It would take some time for women to get comfortable with voting. That just... That is not when the white coach is saying black kids are not smart enough to play quarterback. That is when the black football player himself is like, maybe I could do running back, or maybe I could be a wide receiver. I'm not big enough to be a linebacker. I definitely can't play fucking quarterback. Black people are way too stupid to play quarterback. Like, gang, take yourself back then. It was the same type of shit. It was like, it was choices between like fucking fuckface Joe Biden and fuckface Donald Trump. And yeah, they're both pretty fucked. They're both corrupt as shit. I don't give a fuck if we chuck both of them off a fucking bridge, but I don't think you're gonna take very long or need a period of adjustment to figure out which one you'd rather need to fucking run the country. This is some bullshit.
They have. So comfortable that they gleefully take it for granted. And that brings me on to today, 2023. The modern day.
Oh, yeah.
Are they just pick-me's?
Hang on, we just need a pause. Whew. That historical coonery was deep. Oh, man. That is some serious women holding back women right there. And now comes the even more painful part. You know, the women who want to ruin shit now for all of us that are currently alive and have to live through their fucking bullshit. Great. Wonderful. All right, here we go.
Spoiler. Nope. So, what about women in this day and age that espouse that women shouldn't have the right to vote? That's even more peculiar than the anti-suffragists. In my opinion, anyway. They were facing the uncertainty of the future. Progress can be scary when it's the unknown. But what about people who want to reverse progress? They're a fascinating species,
that's
aren't
the
they?
new conservatives.
Because we've got the right now, so what they're advocating for is taking it away?
Yep, man, that's that
Personally,
alt-right
I am
shit.
for women keeping the right to vote. If you've got the right to vote, to take it away would take a lot of unnecessary faff. And as I've said, I love seeing dogs at polling stations. So, what's happening here? Are they just being pick-me's, begging for ultra-conservative men to accept them?
I think of women back then not being able to vote and having the whole one house, one vote thing. Why would you marry a man who wouldn't vote in your best interest or you wouldn't agree with politically?
Gang, I'm just gonna I don't know how else to say this, but math was not her strong suit. I don't, hey, everybody's got their burdens to bear, their things to overcome, but somebody's gonna have to find a way to politely tell her that 2 votes per house is better than 1. She said she wouldn't be with nobody that would vote politically different than her. I'm not saying that that's necessarily how you should handle your business, but I'm saying that if that's how you handle your business, yeah, I'm gonna just say that her guidance counselor was exploring some other options for her. She wasn't gonna ever be a mathematician. That's facts. But also just why the assumption that you can't want to vote for something else, the assumption that it isn't important for you to participate. Gang, I'm not even gonna. It's just unbelievable, gang. But look. Pay attention to the video. Pay attention to the video. Look at the outfits. Okay, look at the difference. Notice before we was showing some fucked up ass black and white pictures, and people was dressed like they was way back in the before times. You know why, gang? Because they was way back in the before times. These were crazy people. They was from a different era. There was a different cultural milieu and all of that bullshit. And they were like, women voting, what? That would be wild. Like what? There's never been a world in America in which women, you know what I'm saying? Like they was fucked up. Don't get me wrong, they was fucked up. But gang, look. This is in full color with people who look like it's from the 2020 plus times, because it's from the 2020 plus times, and they look like they're on social media because they're on social media, and they look like they streaming because they live. They went live in like the now times. They went live, gang, on air like me with like a camera in front of them and a microphone and shit, and they were like, yeah, why would women want to vote? I mean, why would you come on? I mean, if you haven't married the right man by now and figured out how to like just have him vote for the two of you, then something wrong with these people.
Begin with.
Teehee. They're not like the other girls. They're so low maintenance. They don't even need rights.
The 26th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was passed by Richard Nixon in 1971. It lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. It was passed right at the end of the Vietnam War. The average age of a combat soldier was 19. That should have instantly triggered the 19th Amendment. Women are not drafted. Women do not pay a blood price. Women don't pay taxes. 1-year-olds who have trust funds, they also have to pay tax. Do they get to vote?
Yeah, but they're not. But that's a 1-year-old.
I think this is rare. The women who genuinely believe this are so
now, gang. As a black man, I just gotta say fuck the police, but. Somebody call the cops. Somebody just call the cops. Somebody call the cops, because that woman is abusing the shit out of herself. She really is. She really is. She needs to be saved from herself. She needs to stop doing personal fucking self-harm, all right? She needs to stop throwing herself off the fucking bridge, because that is exactly what she is doing. So, look, sometimes you got to intervene. Sometimes people just need help. And sometimes we got to do something. You got to do something. Sometimes the situation cannot continue the way it has been going, okay? And this is one of them situations.
In the alt-right conservative trad wife, trad cath sauce that they're drowning in Stockholm syndrome. But to say that this applies to all women who espouse this talking point is too black and white for my liking. So I have split these women into two strands. Those who are for real and those who are not for real. The ladies who genuinely believe in this have two...
Now, see, you know me. I'm real like that. I love this shit. Yeah, let's just get right to it. Fuck the bullshit. We gonna make a team over here that's fucking real as shit. They really about they shit. And then we got these fucking fake ass phonies over here. You know, that's how we should approach more things in life. You know what I mean? Like, let's just be... And this is kind of what I'm always actually trying to do with fucking apologists and Christians and all of these people and all the grifters. This is really the game we should be playing with. I'll be asked, like, the gang will tell you, catch me and gather, an issue comes up. I will straight up ask you, I'll be like, do you think these people are for real? Because I really can't tell. Like, who the fuck is for real? I mean, because these people got to be fucking stupid as shit, or they got to be evil as I don't know what. So, like, it really puts you in a tough situation, right? Because you have for real, right? You got to be dumb beyond dumb to be sincere about what the fuck is coming out of your mouth right now. Or you got over here, you got the fucking evil ass motherfuckers, and they just figured out how to get paid off some gullible ass people, and they just are the maniacal type who literally just don't mind fucking like being totally devoid of all integrity and personal self-worth just for a dollar bill. And you don't want to be anywhere near people like that. So it's fucked up either way. There's no solution. Y'all thought this was a game. People are like, yay, this is fun. No. Under no scenario is this not super fucked up. But it's a fun game. It's a fun game because you got to be tearing apart the clues and the fucking, you know, it's like Clue, but like 8-dimensional Clue. Like, you really be trying to piece together, well, what about their package? I mean, you could get really deep with this shit. It's a pretty good game. You should try it with your friends.
Subsections. The first, as I just mentioned, are those experiencing Stockholm Syndrome. The second are women in the alt-right looking to achieve their extremist conservative utopia.
There they are.
Gibbs is a former Trump administration official who in the early 2000s ran this think tank called the Society for the Critique of Feminism. And it basically argued several things.
Oh, no, brother, you got, no, that's a bad look. That's a bad look, but they knew who to go to, right? They knew who to go to. They were like, look, if we're going to do some anti-female, put a woman in charge? Are you fucking stupid? Did you just say put a woman in charge of a fucking movement that's against anti-women's? Take your ass back to the kitchen. Now, what we need to do is we need to get us... Look, they went and got a coon to do a coon's work. I see that. That was clever. That was
One
y'all
of which
fucked
was
up.
That the U.S.
Bro, you gotta retire, bro. Oh, bro, they got you out here on Front Street, my dude. Bro, it's over, bro. Look, bro, like.
Early 2000s ran this think tank called the Society for the Critique of Feminism. And
who is this man? Bro, look, your whole neighborhood, your mama and them, everybody now got to deal with the fact that your coon ass, I'm just trying to lock this face into my brain, because if I ever see this man, I'm running as far away as I can, as fast as possible. Probably after I club him upside his head, but that's
basically argued.
I didn't do it, yo. I didn't do it.
One of which was that the U.S. has greatly suffered from women having the right to vote,
Tourette's.
That women
assault
do not
Tourette's
possess
every once in a while.
the necessary qualities to govern, and that women should not be allowed to be in the workplace. Basically.
In the US, women do typically vote for Democratic candidates more than men do. Now, this gets a bit more dicey when you break down women into class, education level, and race. But there is truth in that. In general, women do tend to vote more liberal than men.
Abortion is becoming the issue that's driving turnout. Last night, exit polls, you guys talked about it earlier, Democrats win independents in a non-presidential year, and it was because these women just went crazy.
Darn women. So I can see the logic. If you want your Republican, conservative, unseasoned, white bread utopia, removing women as voters could help. That
All right,
being
now, gang, let me just jump in here real quick. Every once in a while, I gotta drop just a little bit of knowledge, seriousness, something to reflect on, just a little morsel of substance, so that the fucking nerds who are watching and don't fucking care. He didn't even say anything important. He didn't even say anything important that whole time. Man, we just chilling. We trying to have fun, you fucking dork. All right, now listen. Here's something dorky to think about. This affects fucking all of us because it shows you the general anti-democratic MO of the entire fucking alt-right movement, which you know is pretty much everybody that isn't a fucking super leftist fucking part of the woke mob like we are. And the fucking haters and all them people, they're all part of the alt-right. And look, that's how they deal with it. Right? They do the same thing, right? Yeah, they want to get rid of affirmative action, but like, you know, well, we want to compromise with the conservatives, and they really like that meritocracy stuff. So, you know, right? They do the same thing with our trans fam. That, you know, that's the fucking shoot du jour. They are all over that. They're like, oh yeah, well, we gotta compromise with the bigots. So whoop, there goes your trans friends. Come on, gang. And the conservative and ultimately agenda, they're like, literally, if it suits us that it'd be better for women not to vote, they will literally get on TV and be like, you know what? I'm probably gonna get canceled for this. Right. You know, that's what they say, right? They'll be on national TV, they'll be on fucking Fox News, there'll be like 9 million people watching them. They'll be like launching some new fucking line and talking about all their fucking crypto millions and during the break and shit. But when they get back, they're like, I'm probably gonna get canceled for saying this, but I don't think women should vote, right? Like that's it, gang. But that just shows you, like, they don't care. They don't care, and they will literally marginalize anybody in an effort to get what the fuck they want. And so it should just that's the fucking reflective piece. All right, that's your fucking homework. Think about how if you just became inconvenient for the present time, how quickly they would be like, all right, if this is what they're willing to do. And it also shows you that they have no shame about rolling back history. These people will not stop trying to regress us to a monstrous period of time that nobody wants to fucking live in.
said, women are no monolith. Women who are white and conservative are more likely to vote Republican.
It was women that got Trump elected.
In fact, if you compare white women voters voting Republican to black women voters in recent elections, holy smokes, the difference is staggering. I do not support all women. Some of you bitches are very dumb.
Yeah,
Why would you
facts.
alienate a significant proportion of your voter base by saying that they shouldn't be able?
Gang, look, I should have made this the question of the day, but I don't really know, gang. This is the hot take. This is the hot take question. Is it okay to say that women who think women shouldn't have the right to vote shouldn't vote? I'm just saying, like, look, they've already got us doing this fucking dance of what do you got to do to win, and like, I'm just saying, like, if we want to protect women's rights to vote, then maybe we should figure out who the fuck doesn't think women should have the right to vote, and we'd be like, yeah, so the election, what day is the election on? Yeah, the election's on the 7th. Yeah, the election next Wednesday. Yeah, next Wednesday. That's the I didn't say they should have a right to vote, right? I'm not saying you should have a right to vote. I'm just saying maybe a little dissuasion.
to vote. That seems counterintuitive, right? Here's my thing. They know that ain't gonna happen. They need women to bulk up their numbers. Because women turn
good
out
point,
to...
gang. She made a good... Hang on. We weren't even talking about the same thing, but she said that ain't gonna happen. And it was a good point. Because you know what I was just saying about? That ain't gonna happen. You gotta remember, the conservatards are super fucking motivated. They're so fucking motivated. And their willingness to fucking throw all other women under the bus shows you how electorally motivated they are. They will literally say, that's why I don't think them bitches should be able to vote, because then we could do our shit and they wouldn't be in the way. I'm tired of these women fucking holding up our political agenda. Like, holy fucking crap. So best believe they already know when the election is. They probably already submitted. They're like against fucking same day fucking voting and all this shit. But trust me, their asses are gonna vote. Rain, sheet, shine. Trust me, these people vote. I always tell people that, like, because you know it's always the fucking conservatives and the fucking independents and the moderate dumbasses that are like, oh, I'm just gonna stay home because my vote really, I'm only one person. Man, these conservative fucktards, they never stay home on election day. Please never forget that. Please don't ever forget these people would vote 5 times if they could figure out how to
vote more than men. It's a fake talking point. This brings me onto the second category, those who are not for real. A very academic title, I know. I think most of the people, i.e. reactionaries, who make this argument know that what they're saying is ridiculous. They know full well that this is an unachievable goal. In countries where women have had the right to vote for a very long time and are in government and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, they don't genuinely believe it. We live in an age now that in order to win in conservative politics, you've got to be even more over the top and provocative as your predecessor and or rival. And this brings me onto the first subcategory, reactionaries who want to trigger the libs.
Personally, and this is where people take
I was gonna say, they're all
context and say, I
also
don't think women
right.
should vote. Personally, if I, in 2022, had the choice where I had to go fight in the front lines, just like the men, in a war, or I could give up my right to vote, I would give up my right to vote. And that's what happened back then, is they equated voting
he
with
says
going...
the 19th Amendment led the whole U.S. government to increase in size, adding, we conclude that the U.S. has suffered as a result of women's suffrage. Now, on a few other occasions as well, he also praised an organization that was actively trying to repeal the 19th Amendment. His own website that he maintained called this organization great. He even wrote them an email that they then posted on their website in the early 2000s that said, you have my support. So we reached out to the Gibbs campaign yesterday. They told us that he made this website to provoke the left.
I.e., setting a goal that you know you can never achieve and living it out because you enjoy the fight. It's simply
this is like what Christians do. And that's the problem. We have this whole conservative nodding and gesturing that everybody fucking does. And that's how we get people caught up in this shit, because there's just so many people who at the end of the day, they have to play that stupid fucking game. Because you know the conservatards are going to go straight to the Bible and what it says about men and women. And that's how they got to uphold the status quo for so long. And that's the standard talking points now. And people, they jump out there with how conservative they are. And they jump out there with how Christian they are. And they jump out there with fucking how holy they are. And then they jump out there with how much they want everything in this country in America to be biblical and all of this bullshit. And then they're like, oh, well, then you are on board with this biblical shit right here, right? Please notice how it's us atheists and fucking secular humanists who don't have to play this fucking game, and we're like, yeah, humans are humans, all humans are people, all adult humans should have the right to vote. Are we done yet?
More fodder for the chuds to clap like seals. Honestly, letting women vote in this country wasn't one of the best ideas. Females vote with emotion and overwhelmingly support democratic feel-good policies that take away our actual rights. I'd rather lose my right to vote than lose my right to defend myself with a firearm. Lots of emotional responses to this tweet. As always, thanks for proving my point, everyone. Now, this subcategory does have some crossover with the second subcategory, which I'll call recruiters. Saying inflammatory things like, women shouldn't have the right to vote, makes you stand out, and it's a tasty morsel to attract a reactionary audience.
Huh? I don't think women should vote. Lord Jesus, keep on going.
Oh, I think I seen this one.
Women, you can't vote. No birth control. Keep it going.
Yeah, because it's always freedom without responsibility. And
I
so,
love
like,
it.
the
Women
reason
should not
No,
vote.
but-
Pearly
but
said it
I'll
herself.
tell you why, though. I'll tell you why. Because it's freedom without responsibility. I believe in
Holy
consequences for your decision.
shit.
So the men know if they vote someone batshit crazy into power, you guys get drafted.
Although
We
that was
don't.
funny. The girl who was like, I'd rather lose my right to vote.
If you guys vote someone fucked up into the power, you get drafted. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Vote than my right to bear arms. If I had to choose, she's not wrong.
I know what.
And again, gang, please tell me how marginalized and fringe the Daily Wire is. Yes, those of us with both our feet planted on the ground in reality land know that they are some fucked up people, but we also know that they are going to sleep rolling around in a big bed of fucking money that none of us are, because we're regular people with normal ass jobs and careers and whatever the fuck, and we're trying to fucking make it legitly, and those motherfuckers are fucking hate mongering all the way to the tippity top. And that's the fucking problem. Everybody's got to be in bed with these motherfuckers, singing the fucking same tune, worshiping the same fucking blase and flavonoids, participating in the same fucking gaslighting of the American people. And then all of a sudden, that's where they can slip their fucking anti-suffrage bullshit in.
What they're doing. They're just projecting onto the big screen, singing their greatest hits to their audience. Like ABBA Voyage, but shitter. So, I have asserted that women's suffrage isn't under any serious threat, at least in places like the US and the UK, my primary audience on YouTube. It's important to bear in mind that in some places, the right for women to vote is relatively new, and also, having the legal right to vote does not necessarily mean that voting in practice is realistic, even in the US and the UK. Voter repression materializes in insidious ways, like ID requirements, lack of accessibility to polling stations, not accommodating people who speak different languages, having police present, etc., etc. International initiatives like the United Nations Programme on Women's Political Participation focus on removing barriers so women can vote. These barriers are a lot more complicated than just, do women have the right to vote? Because apart from the Vatican City, technically every country in the world grants women the right to vote. However, issues like...
Apart from the Vatican City. Because, Jesus.
Literacy suppress women's votes. Nearly 2/3 of the world's illiterate adults are women. Women in traditionally male-dominated societies are less likely to have IDs than men. And even if they do have an ID, it might be carried by their husband, who can withhold it, thereby preventing them from voting. And then there's childcare responsibilities that prevent women from leaving the home, just to name a few. When I say that the vote isn't going anywhere in places like the US and the UK, it's because even the most bonkers Republicans know that it would be disadvantageous for everyone. Now, you might say, but Tara, they repealed Roe v. Wade. Here's the thing. Even though the majority of Americans support Roe v. Wade remaining intact, even in red states, the gender gap in opposing or supporting abortion is narrow. In fact, women are slightly more likely to identify as pro-life than men. I'm currently working on a long-ass video
It's also a little weird, too, because even though it's a political talking point, there's sort of a thing where most of the issues they're going to push, even on the right, are going to be issues they believe motivate their electoral base to vote, right? So even though Roe v. Wade is a clearly anti-democratic measure that's against women's rights, they supported it because they believed it was something that increases turnout. They're not going to support taking the right to vote away from people because they just won't. It's I think that's more the issue. It's just it has no fucking legs because it's literally going to make less voters, and politicians won't do that.
Pro-life feminists, I know. And after attending the annual March for Life rally in London in September, I've come to learn that women make up the majority of this movement, even if it's men primarily making the laws. Anyways, what I'm saying in a roundabout way is that women are crucial in building political movements. Men can't do it alone. And I appreciate that I'm speaking in binary terms here, however, I have yet to come across a pro-life non-binary person, so they're not getting called out today. Perhaps another time. When looking back at the original anti-suffragists, it's safe to say that resistance to change is a key feature of human nature. We can see it in all points of history. So what about women today who spout this talking point in the year of 2023? Well, for the most part, they are just trolling the libs.
And look at the results of having women being able to vote. If it weren't for women getting the right to vote, we would have a way more conservative government. It's the fact that women are very emotional thinkers that leads them to overwhelmingly vote for Democrats. America was much better off before women gained the right to vote, so I say repeal the 19th Amendment, get women back in the kitchen, and if anyone has any store recommendations for where I can get a new apron, please let me know in the comments below. I am dying for a new apron.
So I feel inclined to say, just don't give them the attention. It's a distraction from real issues we could be addressing. That being said, it is important to point out extremism when it's looking you in the face. Ultimately, these people do have platforms. Everyone and their mum has heard of just pearly things now. I can't help but think that debating topics like whether women should have the right to vote, which is a moot point because they already do, is giving legitimacy to the counterpoint that they shouldn't. Personally, I have neither the time nor energy to do so. My patience is very limited. I'm just unable to be in an argument with someone whose primary purpose is to mess with me and to get a rise out of me. I think that's growing up with older brothers. The girlies who know, know. However, the purpose of disproving reactionaries isn't to get the reactionaries themselves to change their minds because their livelihood depends on having silly opinions. The benefit is to potentially convert their audience. So if you have the patience to debate someone on this, power to ya. Couldn't be me. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch and let me know your thoughts on this. I'm in two minds on how to deal with people who spout these talking points, so please share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like because one like equals one vote for a woman, and that will trigger the chuds. So woo! And make sure to check out Aura. Right, bye-bye.
All right, gang. We have made it safely to our destination. Yeah, that was crazy, man. Fortunately, I have not been engaged on that topic. It would not be a very long engagement. I agree. It's honestly not a topic worth debating. It is something, I guess, to be aware of as part of the, radical rights playbook, their issue of fucking grievance issues that they've somehow turned into part of this fucked up ass culture war. And yeah, it's just, I think it's more of like a mask off issue for some people. It just shows you how far they're willing to go with their fucking conservatard cosplay, how committed they are to, just staying in character, and it's kind of ridiculous. I don't think it's something that it's something any serious interlocutors are going to be, supporting. And I definitely don't think it's something that politicians are going to get behind in the mainstream. It really kind of is just one of those things to, okay, like you're one of those, you know what I mean? Like, but I kind of feel that way about all of them, right? In other words, I always say that you could probably ask a person how they feel about 5 things, at least in the American political social context. I could ask you 5 questions and pretty much predict where you stand on anything. To be honest, I think I could ask you like 2 or 3 questions, and I'd have a pretty good feel for where you're at. There would be no reason for me to get to question number 997. Do you actually think women should still have the right to vote? You know what I mean? Like you'll know where somebody's at way before you get this far into the deep waters. But definitely was some deep coonery. Oh my goodness, I wasn't ready for all of it. It's so vile and backwards thinking. Even the historical stuff. I mean, it's just it's. But I think like I take it like I think of it like it's for real, right? Like you know, my family's really religious, and as part of that, you know, my grandmother sort of internalized a lot of the misogynistic bullshit. I remember her saying to me she wouldn't take a newspaper out of her house without her husband's permission. So it's definitely a form of misogyny that becomes very internalized and has deep-seated institutional roots in America, and it's still going on. And I think largely due to Christianity and its pernicious influence, and, you know, sort of establishing a social order that people think it's socially acceptable in 2023 to adhere to. But yeah, gang, that's going to do it for us. We're going to go hang out and gather as we always do. I'm going to get some food and link up with the gang, have some fun, play some games, and, you know, chill, call it a night. Please join us. There are links down in the description to join us and gather, and there's also links in the description if you want to support through Ko-Fi and all that stuff. Otherwise, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and we'll see you next time, gang.